Hello, Moto. I hope this correspondence finds you well, as I'm writing you with some concerns about your recent Z3 announcement. Now, I know smartphoning can be difficult, but I think you're making this harder on yourself than you need to. In general, your product lineup is getting a bit blurry, and that's making it more difficult to find those consumers who might become fans of your wares. See, names matter. They matter a great deal. Nerds, in particular, really care about names and labels and brands, as much as we like to believe we're above such things. It's disorienting when we can't get a good handle on what a phone has to offer, who a phone might be designed for, or what tier that phone belongs in. This was precisely my biggest complaint with your offerings last year, if you'll pardon my recycling that video.
The biggest problem with the Moto Z2 Force had little to do with the actual engineering or construction of a flagship phone and everything to do with what it was called. Last year, Motorola considered the Moto Z Force's killer app, the main feature, to be that shatter-proof display. And remember, they had two different Moto Zs that year, the really skinny Moto Z and the really fat Moto Z Force. So this year, they kind of just smashed those two phones together, taking the thinner frame of the Moto Z and applying that shatter-resistant display. The actual misstep here, I think Motorola completely underestimated the consumer reaction to a phone being called the Force. For Motorola, the Force represented the shatter shield display. For consumers, the Force represented the phone with the bigger battery. If Moto had just called this phone the Moto Z2, this would have been viewed as an upgrade. But we get really hung up on names, just like those folks who get pissed off about Apple calling their phone this year the iPhone 8 when it's really an iPhone 7s.
I'm sure your team thinks they've got a good handle on the market and where your phones fit in that market, but we seem to be repeating the same mistakes as last year. Honestly, the Z3 looks like a fine, strapping device, well priced for the hardware included, with the novelty of being upgradable to 5G. But you trained us to expect a Z phone to be your top-tier premium offering. We can't escape those comparisons to more expensive devices, running more powerful internals, as that's where the Z used to stand. I have a lot of fondness for the Motorola brand. I desperately wish we could get Moto Maker back. And under Lenovo's tutelage, I'm shocked Moto hasn't revisited the lapdog experiments of old. Sure, Samsung Dex is neat, and Razer's Linda got some fun buzz, but the MotoMod interface could do this for real, with Lenovo laptop engineering to really complete the modular, expandable, lifestyle productivity gadget many of us desire. Yet for all of those desires, I am a simple man, and most hope you'll figure out your labeling strategy. What's an entry-level Moto? Lower mid-range? Premium mid-range? What does it mean to be a top-tier flagship Motorola? Answering those questions will really help us reviewers out, and it won't be as confusing for potential customers. If you need any help, any assistance, you know where to find me. Love, SomeGadgetGuy.